Okay, I've got a question. Why don't we have any seasonal events in Monster Hunter Rise? We had them in World. Now, given they weren't all that interesting, it essentially boiled down to getting a different colored ticket and being able to make layered armor, but hey, it was still something. But in Rise, they could have expanded it and done a lot more with it. Um, Especially with the follower quest, they could have easily had an event quest where you take a follower NPC and maybe they give you like a history of the event, what it's about, and what it means to them, and that kind of thing, right? They could have done something like that, and also given you, like a ticket to make a layered armor set and had a unique one. And they also could have done different seasonal events that are Japanese inspired. They didn't have to be Western ones. Like, some of them were in World with Halloween and that kind of stuff, Christmas. They could have done Japanese ones, and that would have been interesting to see because it's a bit more about the Japanese culture. The game developers are Japanese. It makes sense to me that they would put them in. It's a very Monster Hunter Rise is a very Japanese aesthetic to it. So that would have been a pretty nice addition to the game, right? Seeing um, the town change as they're decorating it, and all that stuff. That would have been really cool. But we there isn't anything like that, which is kind of disappointing because once again, Monster Hunter Rise, I think has just a little bit more charm and personality than World. I think World, in certain aspects, is better, but with regards to the NPCs and the overall, how would you say, jovial feel in the game, I think is much better than in World. Where World was a lot more serious and not as playful, I guess. Rise is definitely a lot more playful with its characters and that kind of thing, right? In World, you've got, none of the characters really have, like, names. You've got the Handler, the Commander, the Ace Cadet, you know, all this stuff. Characters with no names, right? And so, in Rise, you've got characters with names and they've got personality, and we can experience, what they're like with the follower quests and all that stuff. But we're just missing a seasonal celebration. So I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about. It's like, man, why don't we have any of those? And you could say, well, it's because we've only got one gathering hub, right? Elgato doesn't have a gathering hub, and it's just like, well, they could have just decorated the entire towns this time around. You know, Elgato especially, it's so small. They could have thrown up decorations all over the place. Um, and same thing with Komura. They could have done the same thing. They could have decorated the entire town. And you go around to NPCs and maybe they have like a different text during the event or something, right? You don't have to pay voice actors to do a bunch of lines. You just write stuff down. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I think is odd that it's missing. I wasn't expecting them to add it in Rise, but it's unfortunate that it's missing. Anyways, that's pretty much it.